So thanks everyone for joining this evening, and to the other two speakers who I think have delivered really valuable information, especially for small businesses. When Yolawa first asked me to speak in this workshop, well, the first question I asked her was, do I have to actually change out of my pajamas for this? But the second question was, around what my topic should be. And I really tried to think of something where I could add value to small businesses in the marketing space. And we spoke about, different free platforms that we could use to market our business. But what I find very often is like this, how this picture depicts is, do you know the definition of marketing? Ready, fire, aim. That's very often as small businesses what we do. We market our businesses and we end up wasting money because we haven't really thought about the messaging behind the value that we create. So what I'd like you to do, and before I continue, Mollen, can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'd really like for you to start thinking of your business as this two-way value exchange where, your clients receive value from you through the products and services that you offer. And then, you get value from them because hopefully they pay you and, you can add caviar to your usual diet of beans on toast. So this is quite an important thing. And I'd like, what I thought of starting with is just sort of some considerations and things to think about when you start with your marketing campaign. I thought about starting at the beginning, and starting at the beginning is about thinking about value, like I said. So this is a powerful visual. It's one that I really like. I think it is an important lesson about money and business. So at the top we have, if you try to chase the cat, it will always run away from you. I know lots of you that I've engaged with in the past feel this way when it comes to marketing, like we're just chasing the cat. But the second picture shows us that if you have what the cat wants, it will come to you. So attract the cat. So if you have that delicious cream that the cat wants, if you create that value in your business, you will end up attracting clients. And just as a side note, at the end of this session, I will be sharing a step-by-step how to create your value proposition and how to communicate that. So that's more on sort of the mechanics of it. But for now, again, just to reiterate, it's about digging deep into your business. And this is, I think, valuable whether you're a startup or a more established business, because very often we get so busy sort of working in our businesses that we forget about why we started them in the first place. And it's always good to revisit this and change things up a little bit when it comes to putting your message out there. So what is a value proposition? And this is just a little definition here. A value proposition is a clear statement of the tangible results a customer gets from using your products or services. So again, it's really just thinking of your client and who your client is and how you add value to them through the products and services that you provide. So you have a story to tell. In this day and age where we have a lot of exposure through social media, I don't think it's really possible to separate your personal brand from your business brand. You are your brand. So, and there's a reason why you started your business. So you can't separate yourself from your business. We always say that, how you are in your personal life is how you'll be in your business. And you are what makes your business unique. So start to think about, what is your story? Why did you start your business? What problems did you aim to solve? Are you still solving the same problems that you started out with? And what experience do you have that makes you qualified to do what you do? Because all of that can be incorporated into your messaging, which will create then a foundation of which to market your business. So another good question to ask yourself is your why, and then to find ways of communicating your why. So Simon Sinek says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Sorry to Simon that I didn't give you credit there, but I do have a video of his iconic speech. It's quite short, and I'd like for you guys to go through it because some very valuable food for thought. I call it. I'm just going to ask at this point, Mollen, can you still see my screen and can you hear the video?
Yes, yes, I can see it. Yeah, and
okay.
I can hear it.
Okay, thank you.
Circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean, what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it.
So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Worth asking yourself the question, why do we do what we do? At AIF, we do what we do because we believe in small business. We believe that they are the lifeblood of the economy and that they need to be supported. And that everything flows from that. So I do encourage you to put pen to paper and think about these things. So the next important consideration when it comes to your marketing messaging is the who. Who is your ideal client? Because what most of us do is we cast the net wide when it comes to marketing in the hopes that someone resonates with your marketing message and contacts you for work. And this is obviously time consuming, it's costly, it's not effective. Whereas if you know who your ideal client is, you know where to find them, that's a lot more of an effective way of going about things. And again, just a little visual to show you what most of us do is we try to reach everybody, but not everybody is going to like or love what you do or need what you do. So the mission here is to try and find those people who do. So who is your ideal client? And again, Simon Sinek, I'm quite a fan of him. If you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. So in the law of attraction, it's basically like attracts like, and at the end of the day, if you're attracting your ideal client, you're probably going to be happier because you're working with like-minded people, So what is an ideal client? An ideal client is a client who understands your value is happy to pay your worth, is excited to work with you, a client who shares your values and beliefs. They're a client you are excited to work with now and want to work with in the future. Your ideal client profile is a representation of your real perfect fit of clients. And these are just some questions that you can ask yourself, what are your clients' problems? How does your service, or rather, how do you solve your clients' problems? How does your service or product make their lives better, or easier, or more convenient? What do they value? What makes them tick? And our small businesses often ask the question, well, how do I know these things? And the answer is actually quite simple. If you don't know, ask. Whether that's putting a survey out on Facebook or enlisting your friends and family to sample your products and give feedback. Ultimately, all of these things that you put time and effort into to understand that, you may think that you have a perfect product or service, but at the end of the day, it's worthwhile to ask the question, and get the feedback before you even start marketing your business. So another question that I often get from our small businesses is, where should I market my product or service? Where will I find these ideal clients? And if you know who your ideal clients are, it stands to reason that you'll kind of know where to find them. So, for example, if you are a consulting company and you consult to corporates, you're probably not going to find your clients on Facebook. You're more likely to find them on LinkedIn. And if that's the case, you probably would use a more formal tone in your messaging, whereas with Facebook would be a little bit more informal. So to Simon Sinek's point, we all know what we do or how we do it, or at least we should know, but still worth putting some thought into. And, because sometimes we think we know what we do and how we do it, but do we really know? And I think being mindful with your business and really thinking about these kinds of things, when it's clearer for you, you're better able to communicate it to your ideal clients. So just to end off, and I think this is really important. It's a note on integrity. The little flyer there says, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. So at the end of the day, if you can deliver on your promises and you're offering something that you feel confident to stand by, you offer good quality product or service, that is the thing that will keep bringing your clients back to you time and time again. We all know that there's no substitute for a word of mouth marketing. So thank you for your time. If we have any questions, Yalawa, I'm not sure.
Okay, there is a question on Facebook, on live Facebook, and that question is about the picture that you had. My target market is 19 to 54 to 54 years.
Right.
Someone wants to know, how do I then eliminate that generic approach for my marketing? And I think I agree with her, because when I started my firm, I was like, but everyone needs legal advice, isn't it? Only to discover that's not exactly the case. So how do you narrow it down and you identify the specific customer, without generalizing or putting it too narrowly? I think that's what this lady is asking.
So before I answer that question, Yalawa, what did you do? You said you started out your journey like that.
Then I realized that, yes, it is true, actually. Everyone wants legal advice, but not everyone is prepared to pay for it.
And that insight, how did you get that insight?
When you get the queries, sounds good, right? You've started a good business because you're having like 50 messages inbox needing legal advice. Okay, as soon as you communicate the price, oh, sorry, not that critical. Then you understand that you targeted everyone. You didn't define, your target market.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's really about taking the time to do the research and find out who your ideal client is. Who would like the services and the products that you have to offer. And again, like I said, it's really quite simple. Ask, ask people what they think of your product. Would they be willing to pay for it? Yeah, I hope I've answered the question.
I have a question, Lauren.
Sure, go for it, Malin.
Yes, I wanted to say, if you are really, really starting up, I think we all bumped into that, what Yolela is saying there. So is it practical to streamline from start, or you streamline as you go? Because you see, yeah, because sometimes you are rushing to say, I need bread. If you are really starting up. So I know when you're at a stage like now, there are people that we say no, you know what I mean, in the business. But when you're starting up, I think that's the challenge. And you see that by not really streamline, you wasted a lot of time and energy on a number of clients.
Yeah.
So I think it's very hard.
It is difficult, and I think especially starting out, I mean, Malin, what advice would you give based on your experience? Because your offering may be very different to another person, and until you've gone out there and sort of made the mistakes, making the mistakes sometimes is how you actually gather the information, and sometimes you have to go through that loop of trying something. I like the lean canvas, so getting something ready for market in its leanest possible form, and then testing that. So testing the feedback and seeing, who likes the product, and from there, hopefully you can get a sample that you can say, okay, this is sort of, you can start to build your ideal client profile. But I don't think it's fully possible to avoid making some mistakes when it comes to marketing. The nice thing about marketing for small businesses on platforms like Facebook and, on social media, and digital marketing in general, is that you can measure, so to market on social media is fairly inexpensive. So you can try something, put it out there and see, and measure what you get back. So I would say, you're not going to get it perfectly right from the beginning. Any further questions in the chat?
Okay, mostly we have comments, and thank you guys. I know it's actually not easy, to create some time to be here, and thank you so much for joining us and for all your contributions and your participation into the workshop. There is no workshop without your valuable inputs, and your questions, because we only grow when we get questions from our guests, because then we go back and rework the structure of our own material and the needs of the small businesses. So all these comments, we don't take them for granted, because we know for a fact that next time when we do a workshop, we cover most of the things that have been suggested. So your participation is highly appreciated.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Yolawa, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Yolelwa. Thanks very much. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Malin.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Very informative. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you kindly.